Did you know up to 96% of waste produced by primary schools in South Australia can be reduced, reused, or recycled? By disposing of waste appropriately and reducing waste where possible, we can promote, encourage, and support environmental sustainability in South Australian schools. Conducting this inquiry has required the use of multiple search engines in order to source a number of reports, articles, as well as government websites, which have provided up-to-date, reliable information, statistics, and data. The waste audit was performed by Wipeout Waste on 232 primary schools around South Australia from 2006 to 2016. It was found on average, primary schools produced 0.61 litres of waste per person per day. Recognising this amount of unnecessary waste going to landfill daily exposes the need for, as well as the potential for improvement. But why do we need to limit waste to landfill? Landfill is bad for the environment. Organic waste disposed of in landfill breaks down in anaerobic conditions, creating larger amounts of methane compared to aerated conditions. Gas emissions from landfill sites can account for 2% of Australia's total greenhouse gas emissions, according to a report from 2010. Landfill produces a liquid waste known as leachate, a toxic liquid which, despite the best engineering efforts, still has the potential to contaminate surrounding land and waterways. Resources like aluminium can be lost in landfill. Producing products from recovered aluminium takes 95% less energy than producing from new raw materials. It is important to recognise the type of waste being produced by primary schools in order to assess appropriate means of disposal. The waste audit performed by Wipeout Waste showed that the waste produced by South Australian primary schools included food and drink packaging, paper and cardboard, food scraps and garden material, other recyclables, and soft plastics. The audit exposed that 32% of the waste was recyclable, 35% was compostable, 4% was reusable, 25% reducible, leaving only 4% of waste needing to be disposed of in landfill. Currently, there are organisations such as KeySAB working with the South Australian Department for Education and Child Development to educate and encourage active involvement to support environmental sustainability through waste disposal in schools. Improving bin systems to sort waste like recyclable, compostable and waste for landfill are current ways in which a number of South Australian schools are addressing the issue. Big impacts can also be made by small changes in food packaging. 3 pieces of waste per day over a year can add up to as much as 30 kilograms of waste. Encouraging the use of reusable rather than single-use items such as cutlery and food containers is a small change with a big impact. Implementing a regular day encouraging food without packaging is another way to reduce the amount of waste needing to go to landfill. Ensuring schools have appropriate bins, including composts to dispose of waste appropriately, has the potential to make a big impact on the amount of waste going to landfill. This will result in students being supported in understanding environmental sustainability in addition to sustaining the natural environment and resources. The Australian curriculum can be linked in a number of ways. In particular, Year 3 science inquiry skills with the content descriptor of questioning and predicting, processing and analysing data and information. Use a range of methods, including tables and simple column graphs, to represent data and to identify patterns and trends. This relates directly to waste audits and identifying the type and amount of waste a school or class is producing, as well as making plans for what types of bins and how many would be needed.
Created using Powtoon.